AI now allows one employee to produce what used to require an entire department, but most businesses are about to spend a fortune using it in exactly the wrong places. I found one AI tutorial that uses 2 AI agents and 4 separate AI requests to send one welcome email, and another lets Claude read the entire sales database and follow up with a lead in a way that makes them think a real person wrote it, but without any restraints. Another lets a Claude skill rewrite its own instructions after it fails and calls that learning. And another is turning readable documents into screenshots because his multi-agent system is burning through tokens too quickly. These are not harmless YouTube tricks. They are versions of the same systems now being pitched to companies that manage important customer, confidential information, large investment decisions, and billions of dollars in assets. And there's a huge difference between using AI to multiply a company's output and building an expensive AI workforce that the human workforce just has to sit there and babysit. That difference is exactly what this video is about, and by the end, I'm going to give you the simple test that I use to decide whether a business needs a normal software, one call to an AI, an AI agent, multi-agent orchestration. By the end, I'm going to give you a simple test that I use to decide whether a business needs normal software, one AI call, an AI agent, or multi-agent orchestration, and most importantly, where AI should go if the goal is to create more revenue, remove a growth constraint, and let a small number of people supervise an extraordinary amount of work. Because if the decision is right, AI can change the economics of the company. If it is wrong, AI becomes another growing expense with an impressive demonstration attached to it. Let me show you how easily that can happen. So a new customer fills out an onboarding form. They need one welcome email and one record added to the customer database. The tutorial that I found uses 2 AI agents and 4 separate AI requests. The first agent writes the email, a second AI request breaks that answer into the right fields. Another AI agent summarizes the same form, and a 4th AI request breaks that answer apart again. 2 agents, 4 AI requests, 1 welcome email. That's not leverage. That is 4 toll booths on a road that should have just been open in the first place. And the real problem is not a few dollars of wasted AI usage. It was the thinking behind the system. AI was supposed to improve the business process. Instead, AI became the entire business process. Palantir CEO Alex Karp recently said that the business leaders he's dealing with are furious because they're just paying for tokens that are creating no value in the end. And now, he obviously has his own commercial reason for saying this, but the frustration is real. He's just blaming the way the AI companies charge, but I think the deeper problem is what businesses are paying AI to even do for them in the first place. Moving information from one place to another, checking whether a customer already exists, putting a name into an email, remembering whether a message was already sent, following the same 5 steps every single time. Those jobs do not require more intelligence, they require consistency and scale. And I'm not saying that because I'm against AI agents. I build agent loops, I built sub-agent systems, I built multi-agent orchestration, and I've built the business applications that these agents are being asked to run. That work, it led me to the opposite conclusion from most AI content out there. A serious business should use the smallest amount of AI needed to produce the biggest result, not the most AI. The target is not just a clever demonstration, the target is leverage. Can one employee handle the work that used to require 10? Can a team review hundreds of opportunities instead of dozens? Can a process that took 3 days happen in 30 minutes? Can the business grow without costs growing at the same rate? That is what matters. If AI does not improve speed, cost, quality, or control, it is not transformation, it is decoration. But before I decide what AI system to build, I ask a more important question first. What is actually stopping this business from making more money? If the business is demand constrained, it needs more qualified opportunities or better conversion, that is where AI can increase research, outreach, follow-up proposals, content, and sales coverage. If demand is already strong, but the business cannot deliver enough, then it is supply constrained. That is where AI can increase underwriting, diligence, onboarding, production, customer service, and every other part of delivery. Because more leads do not help a company that cannot fulfill the work, and faster fulfillment does not help a company with an empty pipeline. The first question is not where can I install an AI agent? The first question is what is stopping this business from growing? Then I put AI against that constraint. That is how AI changes the economics instead of merely changing the software bill itself. I think about the leverage itself like a dishwasher. The value of a dishwasher is not that it imitates a person washing one plate. The value is that someone loads 100 dirty dishes, presses one button, and walks away. The machine handles the repetitive work in one reliable batch. The person comes back when the job is finished or when something unusual might need attention. That is the kind of leverage a business should be looking for from AI. An employee should be able to load a large amount of work into a controlled system, let the system handle the routine cases, and spend their time on the few decisions that actually require judgment. That's how one person becomes capable of supervising 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more work. But adding an AI agent to every step does not create that leverage. Often it creates more supervision, more checking, more waiting, and more places for the process to just go wrong. The token problem is usually the first warning sign. Tokens are not simply how AI companies measure the amount of information their systems read and produce. One creator showed that most of his Claude usage was happening inside enormous conversations, and more than half of that was just tied to heavy sub-agent use. He then opened a new session and found it had already loaded nearly 60,000 tokens before he even asked one question. Imagine hiring an advisor to answer one question about one company, but before every answer, that advisor rereads the entire filing cabinet, every old memo, every old conversation, every instruction anyone ever gave them, and then the firm complains that the advisor is expensive and slow. The problem is not just the price of the advisor, the problem is how the work was designed. And this is where the advice becomes absurd. One proposed solution is to just turn written documents into images so Claude can look at the screenshots instead of reading the original text. The creator admits Claude may not read the words perfectly, so now the information is even less reliable. In order to save money on a system that was supposed to improve a business, that's not efficiency. That is paying to create a problem, then accepting worse work to reduce the cost of the problem. A well-designed AI application works differently. The company keeps its information in the right place. When AI is needed, it receives only the facts needed for that one decision. It gives back an answer, the business records the result, and the AI moves on. It does not need to carry the entire company into every conversation. That's how I built Batch Clip, which turns long videos into short clips. The AI handles the part that requires taste and judgment. It decides which moments are interesting, where the story begins, and whether the clip reaches a satisfying ending at all. Then the rest of the application, it just takes over. It cuts the video, adds the captions, adds the B-roll, puts everything in the right format, checks the timing, produces finished clips the same way every time. The AI makes the judgment, the application creates the scale. That distinction matters. I don't pay an AI agent to reconsider how video editing works every single time I press the button. I use AI for the decision where AI creates value, and I use normal software to multiply that decision across the entire workflow. That is the dishwasher effect. Load the work, let the system run, review the result, handle the exceptions, and move on. Now compare that with the client onboarding tutorial. The customer has already decided to work with the business. At that point, the process should feel controlled. Their information should be saved once. Their welcome message should be sent once, and the business should be able to prove what happened. Instead, the tutorial sends the same information through AI 4 separate times. Not because 4 different judgments are needed, because the system was built around AI first and the business outcome second. Here's how I know that the agents are unnecessary. Because a real AI agent has a goal, access to tools, and the freedom to choose what to do next. It can inspect the situation, take action, study the result, and change direction if needed. But the agents in this tutorial do not have tools. They're not choosing between different paths. They receive a form and return text. That is an AI response wearing a job title, and calling it an agent does not make the business more advanced. The simpler version is obvious. The customer submits the form, the system checks that the information is complete, and the customer is not already there. The AI gets asked once to write the welcome message in a short summary. The system saves the customer, sends the message, and records what happened. One useful AI decision. Everything else follows the business rules and is in software. And that simpler design creates a much bigger business outcome. Instead of an employee having to manually onboard one customer at a time, they could load hundreds of new accounts into the system. The system handles the routine work in the background. The employee reviews the exceptions and high-value relationships. Now that's leverage. That is how a person goes from doing work to supervising the work, and that is where AI starts changing the economics of a company. But it only works if the underlying process can be trusted. What happens if the customer submits the form twice? What happens if the email company accepts the message but fails to send back a confirmation? What happens if the AI leaves out something important? What happens if the service goes down halfway through the process? What happens when somebody asks 6 months later exactly what the customer received? A polished demo, it avoids those questions, but a serious business lives with them every day, which is why I built my own AI-powered CRM. And instead of building the whole thing as one giant AI agent where AI can draft a message or recommend what should happen next, but important actions, they just wait for approval now. The system knows whether something is waiting, approved, rejected, completed, or failed. It prevents the same message from being sent twice, and it keeps a full record of what actually happened. Yeah, it's not as flashy as watching AI agents talk to each other. The same distinction applies to N8N. I don't think N8N is useless. It can be a great way to connect a few systems, test an idea, or handle a simple internal task. But a visual map of connected boxes is not the same thing as a controlled business system. The map may show what should happen when everything works. It does not automatically what happens when something fails, runs twice, gets changed, or needs to be reviewed. Anyways, if you want to know my thoughts on N8N, there's another video on my channel to watch that. However, I'm seeing this come back in Claude Skills, which if you don't know, it's just kind of like a set of instructions and resources that teaches Claude how to do a job, which can be extremely useful, but the trouble starts when a skill gets described as an employee, a department, or entire business system like we're seeing on social media. One current course, it opens with the creator saying that he has a business making more than $4 million a year in profit, largely through AI agents with Claude Skills. That's his claim, one of his examples. One of his examples lets Claude search the sales database, read previous emails, and follow up with every lead. He says the messages are casual, so the leads think that he wrote them personally. But writing the message is only one small part of that job. Who should be contacted today? Who has already said no? Who has already received 3 messages? Did someone from the company reply manually this morning? Is information accurate? Does the message make a promise the business cannot even keep? Who is accountable if an important relationship gets damaged? I mean, AI may be excellent at writing the first draft. That doesn't mean it should decide the entire process. Let alone having AI actually have to answer all of those questions every single day is just burning through tokens when code could handle it for free and quicker. Think of it this way. We can have the code talk to the AI and then trigger the AI to go message the right people. Okay, so if someone hasn't replied in 3 days, well, that's a simple timer thing. Okay, 72 hours is up. Now the AI goes and sends them a message, and then we can also bring in what was sent in the previous message so it doesn't have to go research it. We can inject it directly. There's just a ton of different ways to cut costs from this process. So I would let the AI come up with the custom message so that we're not writing messages by hand all day, but I would make sure a person is still reviewing them before they get sent off. So again, it's kind of like the dishwasher effect, right? The system's handling the volume, we're controlling the standards. That is how AI can actually multiply our and employees' capabilities. There is another current tutorial that builds a Claude skill for turning YouTube videos into social media content. And the first test has problems. The video information does not come through properly, the images fail, so Claude changes its own instructions and tries again. After 2 attempts, the creator suggests that after 10 attempts, the skill could become battle tested. But changing its own instructions after failure is not the same as learning. No serious investment firm would let a new employee rewrite the investment mandate after 1 bad result and call the process improved. No defense company would let someone rewrite the operating procedure after 1 failed test without review. The change might fix the case directly in front of them. It might quietly break 9 other cases that were already working or future cases. Real improvements means the change is reviewed, tested against past examples, measured, and reversible. Otherwise, the system's not learning, it's just drifting. And I want to clarify that none of this means AI agents, sub-agents, or multi-agent orchestration have no place. They absolutely do. I built EasyCoder just because some jobs are unpredictable. Building software can require searching through many files, trying a solution, checking the result, and changing direction. Researching an acquisition could involve reviewing the market, the company, the management team, the contracts, and the competitive position before anyone knows where the real issue is hiding. Those jobs resemble investigation. An agent can be very valuable there. Sub-agents can be valuable when the work can be split into truly independent parts. One sub-agent studies the market, another studies the financials, another studies the contracts, another studies the competitors, then the main agent brings those findings together. That can create real leverage because several valuable lines of work are happening at the same time. But sending a welcome email, it's not an investigation. Updating a customer record, not an investigation. Following a known approval process, not an investigation. Those jobs resemble an assembly line. Putting an AI agent on every step of an assembly line is like hiring a committee to reconsider how to close every box. It sounds more intelligent, but produces less control. Recent research from Google, MIT, and others reached a similar conclusion. When separate AI agents could study different parts of a financial question at the same time, the group performed about 81% better. But when the job had to follow one clear sequence, adding more agents made the results worse by 39 to 70% in some setups. Mistakes spread more than 17 times further as well. That makes sense in normal business terms. 5 analysts studying 5 separate companies can create leverage. 5 people passing the same wire instruction from desk to desk creates risk. So this is the test I use. If the job should happen every time the same way, use normal software. If the job requires interpretation or judgment, use AI for that decision. If the action has serious consequences, keep a person accountable. And if the route is genuinely unknown, consider an AI agent. And if several independent questions can be answered at the same time, sub-agents may create real leverage. The goal is not to remove AI from the business. The goal is to put AI where it can produce a dramatic return. 100 opportunities reviewed instead of 10. A week of research completed in an afternoon. An employee handling 10 times the volume without having to add 10 times the headcount. A senior person spending time on judgment instead of administration. That is the promise. Not more agents, more capability. Not more tokens, more valuable work completed. Not a more impressive diagram, but a better business. This is the distinction I care about inside my community, not how to start another agency, not how to connect the largest number of trendy tools, how to take a business that already works, identify the few places where judgment creates real value, and build a system that multiplies that value across a company. Because AI first does not mean AI everywhere. It means AI where it changes the economics. The industry keeps teaching businesses to judge a system by how impressive the diagram looks. More boxes, more agents, more sub-agents, more activity, more things talking to each other. But the business does not get paid for the diagram. It gets paid when the process works, when the customer receives the right message once, when a team completes 10 times more valuable work, when a failure can be corrected, when someone can explain what happened, and when the cost is tied to value instead of activity. The best use of AI is not replacing every reliable process with an intelligent one. It is adding intelligence to the few decisions where intelligence changes the result. Then using that software to multiply the decision across the workload. Because the smartest business is not the one using the most AI, it's the one getting the greatest return from every place that they do use it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is Nolan Grout. Come join the community down below and I'll help you guys get the proper AI systems set up for your business. You can steal our systems, have AI grow your brand, your business's marketing, your business's ads, whatever you need. There's probably a tool already created for it. So guys, I'll talk to you in the next video. Take it easy and peace out.